Welcome to Vox Pauli, conversations with people around St. Paul's Catholic University Center at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Welcome, Justin Hintz. Justin, you are a pastoral intern.
That's right.
What is that? What's that?
Pastoral intern, that's just typically a former alum or an alum of the university.
They're all graduates of UW-Madison, that's true, yep. Mm-hmm.
That they've decided to give a year to serve the student center, St. Paul's, that has served them so well. And when I had the opportunity to do so, I was just really amped to be able to give back to the community that gave so much to me.
Yeah. Let's talk about that before we get into the internship. What has this community given to you? How would you describe that?
Yeah. This community has given everything to me. Like I was like so lost in college, like especially like first 2 years, just like it's not where I wanted to be. I was like very, very driven. But like
you moved into the dorms here.
Moved into the dorms here.
From where? Where'd you come from?
From Appleton, Wisconsin.
Appleton, Wisconsin.
Valley,
Shout out
baby.
Facts River Valley. What high school?
Appleton East High School.
Appleton East, what's their mascot?
Once a Patriot, always a Patriot.
Patriots. All right. Yay, Patriots. Boo, Terrors.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Not officially, but we get
Not
it. So you come to always wanted to go to Madison, or there were like a whole range of places and you decided to come here?
Yeah. So I wanted to be like the best of the best. So I was kind of trying to shoot for the stars with schools. Like I was like, oh, maybe I could get into like Duke or like Stanford.
So you applied to some heavy hitters.
I applied to a couple of heavy hitters, but not enough. Like I think
This is not a heavy hitter, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I was super happy when I got into Madison, and like I was super happy to be here. But like it was kind of like I got in. I was like, shoot, I wish I would have just like applied to a couple more like big hitters and maybe gotten a shot. But I also didn't do that much. Like I had like good grades and stuff, but outside of grades and like sports, I don't know.
You're an intelligent we'll get to that later, but right. So you come to Madison into the dorms and it's pretty wild, it's kind of average. How would you describe it?
Yeah, when I got here, I mean, the dorms were pretty wild, but like I was never like a super big part of the party scene. So I was really just kind of like, I think I was just taken aback. Like it was also like COVID too. I don't really know.
Yeah, that's true. That does really cover so many experiences. COVID was just such a bizarre.
It was crazy. We got like, and I was never like a rule breaker. Like I was always like a very much so like stick to the rules. So I was just like, I don't know. I just kind of like didn't know what to do so much because there's like so much in between. Like my friends were like, the ones from high school, like were like all getting like fake IDs and things like that. And I don't know. I didn't love the idea of it yet. So, I mean, I would like go out and like, every once in a while, I'd like go out and like party with them at like houses, but never like. It
was never like lifestyle
like
or this is the scene or whatever it is. So.
Yeah, exactly.
You've always been a social, outgoing guy, or you feel that's not really who you are. I mean, you have a very outgoing personality, it seems.
Yeah. I actually was so shy growing up, like all the way through. Honestly, until like probably like junior year of high school. And then
that was like an interior choice, or like someone or something really impacted you, would you say?
I think I just like I super still now like not really confident. Like I can like appear, I can fake it to make it like really well. I've discovered I'm pretty good at like faking it, and like I think that's probably half of confidence, just faking it.
I would say you appear genuinely interested in other people. Do you feel that way?
Totally. Yeah. Like I would say like I don't love like usually I don't love like being outgoing for the sake of being outgoing. I really enjoy getting to like know other people. Cause I don't like even after like a long like big day, I'll be like drained. Like, so I think there's like some people who say like,
I saw you a couple of times this past week. I was like, okay, he's come to the limit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's like great. It's like when you get to the end of the day and I feel drained, like that's like, oh, that's awesome. But, it's like, it's like tough. So it's like, I need like a little bit of time to recharge and then back on the horse.
Mm-hmm. So here at St. Paul's, when you're at the university, when did you first walk in the door at St. Paul? Like right away, your church-going family got to go to Sunday Mass, or breeze it off for a while?
Yeah, I totally breezed it off. Like in high school, I mean, I was always a church-going family, but then in high school, like I led like a small Bible study, and then got to college, and then just stopped. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think I just never had like a personal, like prayer life, personal relationship with Jesus, and I think that really like was big fault. Like it just like led to like you have no foundation, right? Especially when you're all on your own, it's just like, all right, like why? You don't know.
Yeah, just the ritual of the mechanics, they don't make sense anymore. So yeah, you stop doing it.
First 2 years, like I think I went to one mass maybe. Like I don't even think I went to Easter mass in my freshman year.
Yeah.
And then I think I came to Ash Wednesday sophomore year. And like I remember tearing up at the choir, like at the Ash Wednesday mass.
Yeah,
like it was like
beautiful.
It was crazy. But then still like didn't change anything. Like just kept going through the motions back home. And like then that summer after sophomore year, I stayed in Madison for a class.
Okay.
And then it was just like I knew something was missing. It was missing something. So then I started coming to St. Paul's.
That's a weird feeling, isn't it? Where like there's nothing particularly wrong, but just something's missing. There's a little empty part in there.
Yeah, it's like life. It just seemed like kind of meaningless. Like it was good. Like there's small pleasantries, but it was like I don't know. Yeah, something was missing. I was like, I didn't even like remember having like this like moment where I was like, well, maybe this is what's missing. It was just like I knew I should do something. I was like, well, maybe I'll go back to mass, and then was going like probably like I don't know. Three out of 4 times a week in like the last month of that summer, and then came right at the start of the junior year. And I was just lingering in the lobby, like right outside over there.
It's kind of milling around.
After a mass, I was just lingering.
People do that.
And I was like, yeah, it was kind of like a little plea for help, or like a plea for like, yeah, somebody come talk to me. And then this barefooted man, Greg, came up. He was an intern.
Greg Lyon, then intern, became focused missionary, still focused missionary. And again, very pro Greg Lyon.
Absolutely.
Here in Vox Pauli and around St. Paul's, very pro Greg Lyon.
Yeah.
And now the University of Nebraska as a missionary. Boo Nebraska, but yay Nebraska. Love. We'll get to that. Yeah. Handsome Zach Glass from Nebraska.
I love Zach Glass.
so Greg walks up to you, and he's a striking in appearance. He's ordinarily not wearing shoes. He has kind of long, unkempt hair, a big goofy smile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was that joyful. Like he just had that joy, and he invited me to his men's group later that week. And then he grabs my number, and then he like shoots me a text that night as I'm walking back to the dorm. And I'm like, I get the text and I like go to the conversation, but it's not the first message in the conversation. Like there's one above it from like the year prior. And it's like what? And apparently like somewhere like in my sophomore year, right at the beginning, I must have like filled out like some sort of registration for St. Paul's for like a small group. And then Greg had texted me like the year prior, invited me to a small group, and I just never responded to it. He texted me a couple of times, I think. And then, but yeah, so then got that message from him, like, hey, you should come. And I was like, okay, bozo. As I wanted it, but then I was like, I don't know if I'm really going to go. And then I remember I got out of a test that week. That was like the night of his men's group. I had a physics test. And I walk out of the test. I started walking to the dorm. And then like, I took like 20 steps and then turned around and then came to St. Paul's. The rest was history.
And the rest is history. But Greg worked on you for a while.
Totally.
He invested in you, right? You're the one who conveyed the phrase that I love so much. Endless invitation and just vulnerability. Just going after people with everything that we've got. It's not so much that it's not taking no for an answer. It's just that, you know, it's the Scott Hackle phrase. Every no is a long yes.
Yeah.
Every no is a long yes. So and having that belief in other guys.
Because
I think that's what's so powerful with that. You have a man who seems to see something in you. You can really spit on it for a long time, but if they persevere in that, it can be very influential.
Oh, totally. And then you never know, like when you like extend an invite, where that person's at. Like you could be inviting them, and they could be like going through something like incredibly tough and like completely shut door. And then let's say it's like a month later, they could be in a completely different frame of mind and like be like totally open to it. So it's like, I don't know if they could say no, they were going to say no already. You know what I mean?
Did that men's group meet here in this building?
It met in this building. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you remember any of the guys that were in that men's group?
Yeah. So that first night we were actually down in the wood shop, which I don't think is an okay men's group space anymore, but it was
officially it's not. Don't do that. Don't go there.
It was.
It wasn't then either, but that's an aside.
It was Greg, Alex Norby,
former intern,
Andrew Hall,
current intern,
David Tisch,
all-around great guy, engaged the lovely Claire Ganser.
Just a squad. And then also I think David's cousin was there that night too.
Nice.
We were all just sitting on paint buckets in there. But yeah, little did I know, like, yeah, those guys would become my best friends. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Now you get involved around St. Paul's, and eventually you move into what we call the Damascus house for your last year at the university.
Yes.
Tell the people, what's the Damascus house?
So the Damascus house is on the fourth floor of St. Paul's.
Fourth floor of St. Paul's.
Is two communities for living, and in the front of the building, it's the girls, and then there's like
the Bernadette house for girls,
Yes.
which has windows and kitchen, a living room, and
Yeah, they got
multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms.
they got a nice spot up there. And then
Do you have any windows in Damascus? Are there any windows?
we have one window in Damascus, and then in the back there's like what used to, I think it was supposed to be all one continuous thing. Yes, in the time of building, and then they ended up splitting it, and then you have to walk around to the back side of the building,
Yes.
up that stairwell, and there's the guys' room.
Yeah, you can't use the elevator to get to it. You have to walk up to it.
Pro strat is fifth floor, walk across to the back stairwell, then down.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Clever kids. Yeah.
But I think we had 6 guys in there. It's kind of like a little barrack style almost. You got like
It's like one room.
one room. You can reach
With
out
bunks?
and touch the bunk next to you almost.
Right. There's not a huge amount of space. And you'll have what, like a little dresser and a closet? Is that
Yeah. So I think there's 4 closets total, and then everybody gets their dresser. So, but with the closets and like depending on where your bunk is, you're probably doing a little bit of sharing of space.
I have to say, you guys last year looked pretty good, like a pretty well dressed group. Give it, not everyone obviously, but like some of the guys. So the well dressed guys just take more space. Is that what it was?
I mean, actually, I don't know. I feel like I was on the lower dressed. I wasn't well dressed last year. I feel like
No one was saying you were. So yes.
I was not well dressed, but I remember I took up a little bit too much closet space. But I remember James Pillay. He's probably the best dressed.
Shout out James Pillay, right? Senior here at the university, very impactful young man.
He was the best. He was my bunkmate, but he had he only had like a little bit of closet space, and he would have his like entire week planned, and I think he would always like catch him.
One of, if not the best dressed person around St. Paul's, arguably. It's in the running.
Absolutely, he's handsome. And then he would always just like have his like nightly ironing sessions. Sometimes a little bit late. Sometimes at like 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, the basketballs last year up a bit late, maybe. Right? Yeah.
But beauty is pain, right? So
Beauty is pain. We might say big personalities in the Damascus house last year.
big personality.
Everybody had a
small
thought
room.
about everything under the sun.
There was not much that wasn't a very controversial subject. They always became controversial, but it made for some very interesting debates, especially at community nights. So.
But all like influential men around St. Paul's, would you say that? Like each in their own way.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I can't wait till when I'm like 40 and I like look around and see I don't know, a couple of those guys will probably be priests. A couple will probably be very, very well-off businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
I think how fun it would be to be like, you bring your own kid down to tour the university and say, this is where your old man lived.
absolutely. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So you're at the Damascus house. And then why did you apply to be an intern? You talked a little bit at the beginning, obviously, but was that just an instant automatic, or you had to kind of think about it, or what was that like?
Yeah. So I think it was honestly it's probably into the 3rd week of knowing Greg. And for those that don't know, there's the intern office is on the 3rd floor of St. Paul's, and right outside there's a wall of pictures of all the staff or the interns of
the interns throughout the years.
Yeah, and it was the 3rd week of probably knowing Greg, and I was just following him around like his shadow. I would do that quite often, and I was just looking at the wall of people, and then I don't know. Greg made some comments that's gonna be you one day, and I was like, all right, maybe. But then it was pretty much, I think it was before. It was probably before Christmas of my junior year. So for first couple months of knowing Greg and just diving deeper into faith, where I was I have to do this if I can, I have to. And I don't know, Greg impacted so many people. The internship has impacted so many people, but I just in my mind, I was if I could impact one person, then it'd be all worth it.
And now you became an intern and have moved into the vaunted rectory.
That's right.
Which is in shambles.
Currently in shambles.
In shambles. It's a disaster. Now, again, I want to tell the people, I've mentioned this before. It affects me. I am more upset about it than anyone. I love all the men for taking the rectory because it's a disaster.
Yes.
You have dust everywhere. There's one place to go to the bathroom. Well, 1.5. So consider that. We ate dinner like mongrels, like happy mongrels. But it was in an old kitchen table and an outdoor table, and people were sitting on ottomans. It was it was wonderful. We had a wonderful time. Yeah, it was awesome, but so sorry to preface all of that. So I feel like because the rectory has a bit of a legendary status. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So how has it lived up? I've obviously given it a really great intro, but
Yeah, it was. I think it's just great when you like come home. It just feels like another like home. Like it doesn't feel like I'm in college or in Madison, right? Like when I walk through the doors, it doesn't feel like I'm in Madison anymore.
I agree with that entirely.
And I know it's a great place, but it stresses
Absolutely,
me out.
we love Madison, but it does stress us out.
And then when I walk to the rectory, it's like you're just walking to like a completely different place.
One of the biggest backyards in the whole isthmus.
Yeah. You can feel the history. I think when you walk in, like just like
lot of good men have lived in that house for many years. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's just great getting to just debrief on the day, because now that we're in the swing of things, like we don't really get to see, like we see each other right now, but like outside of mass, like we don't have a ton of communications that are going on, maybe outside of formation.
That's
stuff,
true.
But
That's true. Now, this is a harder question, but would you say that the most eligible bachelors around St. Paul's live at the rectory?
Okay,
It's tough. We could offend some people.
This is tough.
Could hurt some feelings.
I think
Kenny says no. Kenny says, yeah, obviously, yes,
I
they're all
think
there.
the most eligible bachelor at St. Paul's is Zach Glass.
Yeah, we know that. Zach Glass, shout out Zach, the Golden Prince.
He does reside at the
Glass.
rectory.
He does live there, yeah. You're, in fact, his roommate.
That's right.
You and Andrew Hall.
Andrew Hall and I, we wake Zach up every day, I think.
With no bathroom and a big plastic sheet between you and the closet. It's terrible, Kenny. It's horrible. I admire them so much. Anyways.
Zach says,
and I'm pretty sure I made Zach sick from all the dust.
Yeah, I think so.
He's been very kind about it to not bring it up. He's like, I don't know, it feels like a little dusty in my room. Oh, is it? Maybe.
Yeah, you just wipe as you wipe the bed frame, and it's just.
But back to the original question.
Yes, I think Zach Glass is one of the most eligible bachelors, but I think there's a lot of eligible men here. Like
around the place.
Yeah, I don't know if I can confidently say that the rectory has it, because we have
That's fair.
We have Sylvan.
Ooh,
We have
shout out
John
Sylvan.
Larson.
Shout out John Larson.
We have Sam Larson.
Greatest
And,
dark horse.
these are just a few men that.
Just a few. Now, I've been saying to people that I feel like the men of St. Paul's are like on the step of something big, whether it's their celibate vocations or priestly vocations, or I believe the going term is risen up the ladies.
Risen up the ladies, if you ask.
Or do we have a different word than ladies?
Oh, a different word than ladies.
Is there a colloquial term for ladies?
I don't know.
What's better, ladies or girls?
Yeah, what is best?
Ladies.
Ken says
They're not
ladies.
girls. They're grown ladies. They have
Beautiful women.
yeah. Oh, aren't they spectacular?
Oh, they're
Can we
amazing.
say that can we shout out all the women of St. Paul's?
Shout
all
out.
women everywhere, all wonderful. Women of St. Paul's are the best. That's why I think you're all idiots.
We are.
Because
are.
why is there a single guy here? Because you're a moron? Like, I don't know what's going on. I have more refined thoughts, but not much more refined.
Yeah, how do you think we change that? Do you think we need to be, as Paul would put it, do we need to be more active? Do we need to have a little bit more motion?
Yeah, no, that's what I would say. I'm pro doing.
Okay.
Right? Like, we won't do anything personal here, but like, you're taking active steps to pursue your vocation, yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had a look, yeah. That I'm for that.
Yeah.
Figuring it all out instantaneously. No, you're young and
Right.
stupid. Not you personally, but like as a
Yeah.
body. All right.
Yeah.
But I'm pro doing things rather than not.
Yeah. I think I'm just like, I think a couple of the rectory guys and I fall into the same category. We're pursuing, but we're very hesitant to like finalize. You know what I mean?
And it's tough because you're public guys, like
Yeah.
especially when you're an intern or missionary, you're public guys and everybody knows your business
Yeah, it's tough.
and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, though, great guys around
Fantastic, gentlemen.
St. Paul. So are you for this notion that guys have to take the lead? Guys have to be, in a sense, they have to do the doing?
I think so.
Or the girls could be like, pull effort here, like show a little interest. What's going
Hey.
on? Just to sit back there and giggle. Like, foot forward would be nice.
I like when the guy is willing to put himself out there and take the step. But like, let's say like you're a girl who like likes this guy, and maybe there's not like a lot of time in which you see them. You really like him, like, hey, I go for it. Why not?
Yeah. You could let it be known. That's not so terrible.
Yeah, you let it be known. I don't know. I don't know. If you guys don't like coming to contact, just make it happen.
Make it happen.
But
Make it happen. And don't be afraid to have it not work out. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's awesome.
yeah,
But I do believe better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. And if that's a little dramatic, just be like, being to grow and it doesn't work out, it's It's
That is
not
a beautiful
awesome.
line.
It hurts, but like
Love hurts, but
there's a song about that. You probably know all the words.
maybe.
Okay, you have a great knowledge and love of music. Would you say?
I love music.
Do you play an instrument?
I've never played.
You sing
an instrument.
beautifully.
Thank you.
Will you sing at morning prayer at all?
So today I actually the sign up was going around for morning prayer, and I was not selected to be.
You let others step in front.
Yeah, I did say for, I believe, Fridays. I said, hey, if you don't find somebody, put me down. But we found somebody, probably far more talented than
Who
I am.
knows? Yeah. Let's not hope. Sickness happens. You never know what's going to go on.
I'll be a good sub, good backup.
Need strong backups.
Yeah.
Anyways. Now let's move into your profession. You are one of the graduate young professional interns here at St. Paul's.
That's right.
We love the grad students and young professionals.
Absolutely.
Grad students, very bright, will be very influential people. Talk about that, because you had some events already. Talk about what's going on in the Grad YP world.
Yeah. So we're just getting up and running. This week we have our first happy half hour, which is what occurs half an hour before every Newman dinner, starting at 5:30 p.m.
5:30 every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Down in the Bar Jonah in the downstairs. Yes, very exciting.
One of the most pleasant places here.
Sought after.
Oh, yeah. We have just a time for mingling, a time for enjoying one another's company. And then we will go up and eat with everybody on the 5th floor. And then most weeks we'll have our own speaker after Newman dinner, specific to grad students. Currently working on the roster for those. So very exciting that we get to do that. But yeah, this last week we had our first Grad YP kind of welcome event. We had our cookouts.
Good. Who's in the backyard of the rectory?
Backyard of the rectory. Yeah.
Vaunted location. Very special.
Wonderful location. And I was worried when we were setting it up. I was like, okay, how's this gonna happen? How's everything looking? But then all of a sudden people started showing up and it was beautiful. I think we had, I don't know, if I had to estimate, we probably had like 80 people show up. Maybe more, 80 to 100.
People have said 100, 110, yeah.
It was,
but the people were there and stayed for a while. Because some people say, grad YPs, socializing, not so good for them, not so easy.
Yeah, but they were.
Do you feel that's a misnomer?
I think that's a misnomer, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I agree entirely.
I think, yeah. And I can understand why people might get that notion, I don't know. Sometimes we are a little awkward, but I love being awkward, And
yeah, but you're in, what am I trying to say? Your conversations are a little more, they're just smart people.
They're smart people.
But there's also smart people like embraced, I'm an intelligent person, I don't have to apologize, I've done well, I want to keep pushing my intellect.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, you'll never like walk away from a conversation and feel like nothing happened.
Right.
Which I feel like in undergrad, like I feel like I had those combos all the time, especially like outside of St. Paul's, like just in classes, like I would just stand for like 20 minutes talking to somebody and be like, we said nothing in that combo. And that's not true. That's not true for any conversation that I have with a grad or a young professional. They're doing something.
They're doing something. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, Justin, thank you. Nice to visit with you here on the Vox Pauli. Of course, we're at the start of the year. Got a lot of things coming, but any word for the people? Any encouragement or inspirational word? Or just general happiness? General happiness. Hey, you have 10 minutes to pray. You have 10 minutes to pray. Find it. Find it throughout the day, anytime. On your walk to class, on your drive. Jesus is waiting. Beautiful. Right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.